Well, good morning to you and welcome to another edition of Expert Alert. I'm your host, Jim Tabor, and this is where we bring in the people from along the Gulf Coast and different businesses to talk about what they do, their expertise, and how they can benefit, their services can benefit you. And we have had for the last several months some great people from Bradford O'Keefe. And with us this morning we have Casey Moore McMurray and Arlene Ortiz. Thank you very much for being here. Good to have you on the show. And if you would, Kay, give us a little history about Bradford O'Keefe.
Okay, we're the biggest and oldest funeral home. We started in 1865. We have 6 locations, 2 in Gulfport, 2 in Biloxi, Long Beach, Van Cleve and Ocean Springs. We have 2 cemeteries, one in D'Iberville and one in Ocean Springs, Crestlawn. And we have the first and only crematory in the state of Mississippi, which Jeff and Mr. Jerry started in 1977.
Wow. And it's still going strong.
Still going very strong.
Still going strong. Now, one of the things that y'all deal with a lot is pre-planning. We've talked about this a lot. I worked in the funeral business for about 6 months up in Nashville, and I sold pre-need. And I know the importance of it. So Arlene, what are some of the benefits of pre-planning?
Sure, so there's a number of benefits with pre-planning your funeral. But when there is no plan in place, it's an emotional and a financial burden. But let's talk about that for a second. So by having a plan, we can't take away the emotional part of it. That's just a given, right? But when we lose somebody that we love and we have to plan their funeral, it could be really hard. And when you go into a funeral home, there's from 75 to 125 different things and tasks that have to be taken care of. And when somebody is emotional, nobody really is in the mood to do that. So by having a plan, you could take care of about 90% of everything that your family is going to have to do when we do pass away. And that is a huge relief for your family. Now financially, today the average price of a funeral is from $12,000 to $15,000, and it doubles every 10 to 12 years. So if we was to live our whole life out, our funeral could be pretty expensive. But if you have a plan, you could freeze the cost at today's prices. So inflation is not going to affect you at all. So as what Kay and I do is we help families put their wishes onto paper in a plan. And there's a few options of how you can pay for it. Some people have the funds and they could just pay for it all at once, but the majority of people go onto a payment plan. And they can make comfortable payments monthly. You could pay it off in 3 years, 5 years, 10, even up to 20 years.
It's almost like putting your plans on layaway.
Right, exactly. But it's comfortable for you.
Exactly.
You don't have to pay it all up front. And that's, one reason why some people shy away from it, because they think they have to have all this money to plan their funeral. And in reality, that's not the case. With just one monthly payment, you could get your plan started. So that's good news as well. And in some cases, when you do have your plan, let's just say, for example, you get a plan for 5 years. And if you pass away before you're done paying for your plan, the insurance company will step in and pay the whole thing off for your family. And that is peace of mind.
Yeah. I do want to mention one thing real quick here. In just a few minutes towards the end of the show, in probably about 5 minutes, Arlene is going to address our Hispanic audience in Spanish. So if you know anyone that would be interested, be sure that you call them up, tell them to get on WLOX.com and click on the top of it where it says live streaming to watch that. But that's going to come up here towards the end of the program. So I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. Another benefit to pre-planning is you leave no doubt. A lot of kids wonder, is that what mom and dad would have wanted? And then the arguing starts of, well, I wanted a cremation, I wanted burial. And then after they figure that out, then they start arguing about who has to pay for it. Now, if you have a plan in place, you eliminate all of those issues. So there is a lot of benefits to pre-planning.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine just the other day about that, and she mentioned that about the pre-planning, and then so and so want this and this and this, and to get it done now. When mom or dad are still alive and they say, this is what I want done, then there's no fighting at the end of it.
That's exactly right.
And
it's the peace of mind.
Right. That's one of the biggest things. One of the biggest
mind.
things. When my parents had all their planning, and stuff done ahead of time through Bradford O'Keefe. So now tell me, Kay, if somebody wants to make a plan,
Okay.
where would you meet them to talk to them
There are
about it?
several places we can meet at any one of the locations, but most often we meet at the homes. They are more comfortable, they are more relaxed, and it's easier to talk about it being at their home and at their location where they're the happiest.
And you already mentioned that you can use insurance. You know, if you pre-plan it ahead of time, you're making those payments, and then all of a sudden you pass away before it's done with, insurance will step in
Yes.
Yes.
and take care of the rest of that. Because if the thing is this, if you don't have those plans made, and you have to make arrangements what they call at need, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yes.
Whole different ballgame, because then you can't get those special discounts, prices, or prices are locked in or whatever,
Right.
down the line there. What protection is there for travelers?
Okay. We have a membership, a lifetime membership. It's called MASA, Medical Air Services Association, and any place outside of a 75-mile radius, all the family has to do is call the 1-800 number if something were to happen, and MASA takes care of everything. If it's burial, they'll embalm. If it's cremation, they'll cremate and send the remains back. They take care of everything so that the family can come on back home. We've had several families be on a cruise and something happened, and it took her a week to get his remains. She had to go through the council, the embassy, and it cost her over $10,000
Wow.
just to get that done. And this membership is a one-time membership for $499.
Wow, that's great.
$499.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I mentioned earlier that we were going to let you address our Hispanic viewers, so you've got about 3 minutes left, so if you would go right ahead, please.
Okay. Buenos días, mi nombre es Darlene Ortiz. Yo estoy trabajando con la funeraria Bradford O'Keefe Funeral Homes. Y hoy estamos hablando de la importancia de tener un plan funeral, porque la verdad nosotros no sabemos cuándo es que nos va a tocar ese día, ¿verdad? Y hay muchos hispanos que son de otros países y tienen a sus familias que están viviendo por allá. Y si te llega a pasar algo aquí, va a ser mucha carga para tu familia para llevar tu cuerpo para tu país. Y nosotros podemos ayudar a ustedes con eso teniendo un plan funeral. Y también puedes hacer pagos mensuales para que no sea una carga para ti en pagarlo. Entonces, hay muchos beneficios. Vale la pena proteger a su familia. Puedes escoger el tipo de funeral que quieres, si quieres cremación o quieres un entierro, tú puedes escoger eso. Tú puedes congelar el precio a los precios de hoy en día, porque los precios del funeral va subiendo. Entonces, usted puede congelar este precio y cuando te toca, pagas solo el precio de hoy. Y en algunos casos, si te mueres antes que termines de pagar este plan, la compañía de la aseguranza paga lo demás, el resto para tu familia. Entonces, no hay ninguna carga para tu familia. Entonces, hay muchos beneficios y yo quiero que todos vengan a hablar conmigo de eso y te puedo ayudar. Y mi número de teléfono es 228-387-8957. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
De nada.
Again, if you have any questions for either one of them, you see their phone numbers are on the bottom of the screen there. Kay's cell phone number is 324-3992, and Arlene is 387-8957. I believe we're just about out of time this morning. So again, if you have any questions regarding this, and I cannot express again the importance of pre-planning. The biggest thing about it is peace of mind. And then again, you lock in today's prices because, as you said, every 10 years, They pretty much double. Anyway, Kay, Arlene, thank you so much for being here with us again this
You're
morning
welcome.
on this week's edition of Expert Alert. See you next time.
If you have a question for any of our experts, go to WLOX.com and click on Expert Alert. For a list of any of our upcoming experts, go to WLOX.com and click on Expert Alert.